I'm excited for today's topic, which was birthed from the great mind of Christopher Frighten himself when I proposed to the group chat, what shall the topic of the space be this evening? And it was directly, immediately, like he had it ready. Nobody cares about your content. And I thought that was a brilliant idea.
Yeah, it was actually a personal attack on you, Kate, but you didn't take it that way and then just kind of rolled with it.
Yeah, I know. I would take that as an insult, but it's absolutely true. So I can absolutely own that and live with that and be fine with it. And I'll get into why. And I think it's along the same reasons why what you're thinking of sharing with us is, because Christopher has a lot of tips to help maybe get people to care about our content. Because I think that's the key to success here on X and probably anywhere in real life, all that. But, we've got the poll here. So we've got a little role reversal happening this evening. I hope no one gets a whiplash, but we have Rich in charge of the poll today, and he looks like he has it all ready to go. So why don't we go ahead and throw it to Rich so he can introduce the poll?
Yes, yeah, me and Chris are switching spots here. He usually has a pretty awesome poll for us, so we'll see if mine is as good. I shared it above in Projectatron. The question is, what's the real reason that your content flops on X? And your options are, I blame my followers, X is a rigged psyop, people fear my genius, or other. And please let us know why you think your reason your content keeps flopping on X in the comments.
Wow, I gotta say, I'm thoroughly impressed with this poll. The last time Rich had these duties, I will say it, he failed miserably.
It wasn't so good.
Yeah, I think we can all, own it and move on from it. But this is a fantastic poll. People have already voted in it before I even got there. So everyone's excited about this poll already. So make sure you get your tally in, repost it out there, repost the space, give the space a like, drop a hi down in the bottom, and also anything else you want to share. Because this is a place that you are welcome to share anything that you've got going on, any content that you're proud of or that you're working on, or if you're maybe looking for collaborators, this is the collaboration station after all. So that's what this is all about. But what we have for tonight is just a topic to get into, and that is about maybe why or how or what causes nobody to care about your content. And so we're going to have lots of points of view on that from people who have failing content, and then also from people who have successful content. And I think probably most of us have a little bit of both. That's the reality of things. And anyone is welcome to join us up on stage if you want to just hang out for a little bit. No pressure. I won't call on you unless you put your hand up. But if you want to come hang out up here, it's a beautiful view actually up here. You get to see all the action up on stage. And look down at the peons below as the wee listeners. They're so tiny and insignificant down there. No, I love the listeners. Thanks everyone for joining. I'm a little fired up because I love this topic. So yeah, Slime Pet, I'll get to you in a second. I do want to get Christopher's overall feeling on this topic and what inspired him besides his little cheeky comment there that it was directed towards me. But why did this come to mind now?
I was just thinking content and, something that people maybe don't want to hear. And it's something I've fought against myself. It's like, if I just make my content good enough, then it won't matter what else I do. I can just drop my content and walk away and that'll be fine. Everybody's going to love it. And I'll get all the awards and all the money and, women will be throwing themselves at me. That's just how it works. Right. So
well, that worked for you, kind of. But anyway, go on.
But, and I tried that for a very long time, right? But didn't do shit. The only time that it actually started picking up is when I went on Spaces, started to show my personality, started to let my personality inform my work and be more public with who I am, that it really started to pick up. And I think that's really important. Nobody's content is, for the most part, nobody's content is so good that it exists well in a vacuum. And in fact, you see like the opposite thing happen. Some people are amazing at what they do, but they're just such garbage human beings that people just are leaving them in droves because they're just, they come out with really like terrible takes and act like a bunch of douchebags, and people stop paying attention to them, even though their content might not be good.
Yeah, and vice versa. You can get people that have like fantastic personalities, they're awesome people, and their content's maybe kind of thin or not that great, but they get a lot of engagement because people just really like them. So, it can swing wildly in all those directions. So absolutely fascinating. I think this is going to be a great discussion. I'm looking forward to hearing what everyone else here has to say. And if there is a post, maybe, I don't know, we could probably look at some posts. Maybe if there's something that you put out recently that you're just really thrilled with and think it's amazing and it didn't get the love that it deserves, and you want to maybe have some eyes looking at it. Me and Christopher love to critique stuff with people don't necessarily like to hear it, but I don't know. We just enjoy it. And it's always out of love for everyone. It's never because we actually, have hard feelings for anybody. At least
my seething hidden hatred for everyone.
Yeah. No. So that's an idea. I don't know. I'm just kind of pitching out ideas.
I think that's a good idea. I like it. People can share the content that didn't do as well as they thought it would with us, and we could even put it up there in the Projectortron while we talk about it.
Yeah, put it up. I dare you.
Yeah. We can give it a little boost here, get some people here to interact with it. And then also maybe something that was surprisingly takes off, because that happens too. And that's kind of an interesting case study as well, is like, why does something kind of go viral? And that means different things for different people. Like for me, when something gets 2,000 impressions, I'm like, woo, I'm on fire, so that's exciting. But then sometimes for others, it's way, way more than that. So that might be an interesting thing to look at too. So let's go to Rich, and then we'll go to the hands. But Rich, I want to know what your thoughts about this are, if you have any.
Yeah, I do. Definitely. Well, you're talking about like account size. That definitely matters because it really is relative, as far as like the impressions that we're getting compared to like if we have 1,000 followers versus 100,000 followers, But I think that it kind of, there's a few different things that it might be. I think first and foremost, maybe your content does suck, maybe you're new. We're all kind of learning, as we go. And so maybe you're just new at this. And the more you do it, the more you practice, the more you put out there, the better you'll get. So, or you can find an audience for your sucky content, because there's always an audience for that. You just have to find them. I'm thinking like the B horror movies and, like the cult films and stuff. They kind of sucked when they came out, and now people like love them. Like there's a whole like fan base for stuff like that. So, and then other than that, like the algorithm, like the X algorithm is not the best. It's not the most friendly to new people or content creators. So maybe you have amazing content and the algorithm just isn't pushing it properly for you. Maybe you're new to the platform and you don't have a huge follower base. You don't have people with notifications turned on for your account. And so you post something out there that's pretty stellar, but it doesn't get the traction immediately, which is what the algorithm likes to see as a signal that it's good content. And so the algorithm doesn't push it out there. So maybe the algorithm needs to be adjusted to rather, instead of like nerfing these new accounts that don't get that immediate engagement, maybe it needs to give them a boost somehow. But that's kind of a different conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, some kind of social credit score for your content.
Hey, I don't know. We don't know. And then I think that the other thing is, maybe you do have good content and maybe you had an intention for good content, and it didn't perform very well. And so you kind of did pay attention to what was performing well on this platform. And so you kind of changed your content to hit, to be that banger content that goes further. Maybe it's a one line, and that's kind of selling out a little bit. I'm doing those 10-second, 12-second videos because I do that too, because it does seem to go further. People pay attention to it better. But yeah, I'm interested to see what a lot of people say. So
yeah, a lot there, Rich. And yeah, we can dissect some of it. And there's some really great comments down below too. So if we need some discussion points, talking points, we can definitely get into that. But I'm going to just go ahead and open the floor. Anyone who has something that I have to add on this subject or any of the suggestions that we've been talking about here, feel free to throw your hand up and I'll go ahead to you. And so first up was Slimy, who's joining us. Welcome. How are you this evening?
Good, especially after what I got. SpaceX engineer now following me, so that's great to know.
Oh,
did an ed.
wow.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. That's nice.
They liked your content.
And the one edit I did recently, which I put down in the purple pill, is not doing as well as I thought it would. Let's actually see what I think I have 30 something views on it. It says that's what they say, but
Okay, I'm going head down there to see it.
39 impressions on it, 20 views total.
Okay, so I'll put this up, and this is a little edit you did.
Yeah, for fun. I was bored one night. I'm like, okay, I'll just do this.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
right. Voice mode for Grok came out today.
yeah, did you see that or not?
I can't use it yet. It's not for premium, apparently. I also, Super Grok is out as well.
Yeah, I didn't try it yet. I've been using Grok a little bit here and there, but not a lot. But okay, so let's take a look at this post. So he can, I wouldn't care. So that means I have to watch the video for context, right? So right. So that's
I think it might show it right away before even having to watch.
The person on your lock screen will kidnap you. Okay,
I can't. He won't get. I would not care.
So this might work better if you just had the picture up the entire time with larger text that makes it, completely easy to read. Because people have the attention span of a gnat on here. So, they see black screen with just a little bit of text. They're going to move on almost immediately. So that's the first thing that I would do.
Oh, and I see on my phone, all I see is the square cut of it. So I didn't even, and then I'm looking on my computer now and I see the whole screen and it's the screenshot from the phone. So I totally missed that. So yeah, it might have been better as a meme type image. I don't know.
50 views now. I'll take it.
Yeah, so that one I think you could play around with again. See, the great thing about stuff when no one sees it is you can now tweak it and no one saw it. So it doesn't matter.
That's if I can catch before it gets any hotter. But I could try. I'll do that later. I was also in Casey's space today as well.
Oh, yeah. Who?
Casey Green.
Am I supposed to know who that is? I'm sorry.
We connected you with him.
Okay.
Did the live stream space thing.
Okay. I got it. I need the profile pic and the screen name to anybody around
Casey
here.
Green is his screen name. His
I know. I get it.
The weird car with Casey in it.
I'm a visual rememberer, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Someone doing a 69-minute show on X is hilarious.
All right. So there's some ideas for you to kind of modify that post and maybe that'll do better. You could even try doing that while we're in the space and you can see if it does better. I don't know. That's an idea. You don't have to. And I want to welcome new listeners. If you haven't yet, go ahead and check out the poll up that Rich did, it may be the best poll we've ever done. I'm not even going to hesitate to say that. I'm going to go ahead confidently.
I don't know about that. Christopher has done some pretty awesome polls.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe, I guess at the end of the year, we should have done a top 10 best polls of the year.
So what you're saying is that I should be the one in charge of substantive content, and Rich should do the polls.
Now, so you're trying to turn it around into an insult towards Rich. Interesting.
No, I didn't say that.
Isn't this dynamic fun?
It sounded like you were saying that.
I say we go to Orah.
All right, yeah. Let's break this awkward moment and go to Orah. Orah, how are you? I know you're not feeling well, so you don't have to answer that question.
Oh, but thank you. Yeah, and I came in late, so really all I heard was, maybe do some other stuff, and then you change based upon the algorithm. And I think that it's okay to diversify and add stuff, but I truly believe that if you're creating with passion and purpose, you should still go forth with that thing that you love doing, regardless of whether anybody engages or likes it. I mean, for real, do it for you. And it's okay to do some of that shorter content that the algorithm likes. I thought my account was broken and then did some one-liners and got great reach. I mean, for me, great reach, right? So I think it's important to use a variety of tactics, a variety of mediums. And even if everything was just perfect with the algorithm, right? You're still going to have different people that receive and resonate with messages in different ways. So you could do a meme or like slimy video there. She could turn that into a GIF, or it could be a text form, and you're going to reach. If there's 100 people, you might have, 5 people that like it this way, another 5 like it that way. So having that diversity, I think, is important. But I think that, just really being consistent, creating with a passion and purpose, and finding your tribe. And I know I've really been harping, but I'm going to keep harping on this. I've been working my list manually, not utilizing the feed for the people I follow. X does not show you the people that you want to see. So you're going to have to do some work and go find the people that you want to see. And I think that as we spread the word and we're each being mindful of this, not just sitting back and, waiting for the algorithm to feed us stuff, we're going to be able to create like almost a culture about it where we're not going to let the algorithm determine what we're seeing. We're going to go find the things that we love. Okay. Yeah, that was it. Anyways, good afternoon. Hi.
Hope you feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon, Orah. Thanks for popping in. It's always lovely to see you. And I'm glad you were able to share some of your insights on that. And I kind of go along with the, you just post enough of stuff that you enjoy and that's content that you like. It'll eventually sort its way to the right people. And then using spaces as a little bit of a boost to help them find you as well can work. But, I'm definitely not the model account to be looking at.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, go ahead,
When
Orah.
you started doing spaces, you had like 300 followers? Now you got like 3,000?
No, I probably had when I started doing spaces and live streams and stuff, I probably had, I don't know, like 700 or something like that.
So
Yeah.
it really helps, does it not?
Yes.
Well, I think that the spaces help with followers and they'll help with getting engagement on your content the day that you're doing a space. People hear you and they're going to come to your page. But I don't think that it's a sustainable plan unless you plan on living in spaces. And I personally don't have the time for that. So I think spaces is good. And that was I was going to segue to that. So I'm glad you brought it up, was just posting isn't enough. It is getting out into spaces, getting involved in communities. The algorithm seems to really like it if you're active on the platform. You can't just post and run. You have to go use it. You have to use the platform and be engaging with people. And it isn't, definitely there's something to, if I go engage with somebody, they're more likely to come see my stuff, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm saying that the algorithm gives you better visibility, in my opinion, with the more time you're spending on the platform. So, I've seen a lot of people taking breaks, which I highly encourage you to limit your social media usage. Don't go crazy on here. But they've, their visibility's gone down. And it's like, oh, okay, that kind of sucks. But it is the nature of the game. And, this is kind of a game. So play it well. And for the community aspect, when you're in some of those bigger communities, especially X communities, the official X bugs and features, X premium features, if you're really going towards huge visibility, those can give you a huge boost for whatever content you're putting in there. And then it will kind of, temporarily come back to the other stuff because people see you there and then they want to come back and see you on your page. So don't give up if you're posting in community and you're only getting 60 views, 70 views, maybe 100, because it can just go viral without you realizing what the heck's going on. So I do encourage people to be active in communities. I'm sorry. I know I'm just rambling. I am.
No, you just had that happen, didn't you? Didn't you have a community post get a couple million views recently?
I posted it 2 days ago and then somebody said yesterday, oh, you went viral. And I was like, what? Because I don't look at numbers, you guys. I can't say I never do, but I try really hard not to look at metrics anymore because it was depressing. And I don't want to create for the algorithm. I want to create because I'm a creator. So yeah, somebody was like, you went viral. And I went and looked and I was like, holy crap, I had 2 million views and now it's almost at 6 million today. And
oh my gosh. That's like the difference. That's somebody's monetization goal right there.
I know. I was like, I haven't seen 5 million in 3 months since I did that 5 million to get eligible. Sorry, couldn't think of the word. So yeah, that's a huge amount of views, but and you know, I have definitely gotten some new followers. I can't vouch to the quality of the followers. I mean, there were a couple that I went through yesterday and they were okay, but most of them weren't people I wanted to follow. So, and the content wasn't my personal content. It was a suggestion for the community. So, you know, it's like if I wanted to go viral, I mean, that's better than going for viral for doing something really asinine and being embarrassed about it. It was a
That's
good
true.
post, but it also wasn't representative of the content I make either. So, yeah, I guess, you know, I'd complain if I got hit with a new hammer.
You know what's so funny about that is I didn't see that post, the viral one, until you posted it or something. You tweeted about how you went viral and you were like, wow, I've never had that happen, or, you know, wrote a post about it. And then I'm like, oh, what happened? It's so funny. And, you know, what's interesting too is like, I'm pretty active on here, but I'm not posting a lot. And I kind of decreased my posting, not for any particular reason. I don't know. I just haven't. I've been kind of busy with spaces and everything, but I've been busy in the DMs, you know, and that takes time away from actually being on the timeline, interestingly enough. So that can be a distraction. So I think like, oh, I'm spending my whole day on here, when in reality, I'm not interacting with anybody, just a couple people in my little chat room.
Oh, you mean you're creating quality connections, Kate? And that is, you know what? I think that is any success that my account has. It's because of that. It isn't about my content. It isn't about any reply guy crap. It is about me caring for people, helping people. And I mean, even this post, I was just trying to help people. So, you know, that went viral. It was really had nothing to do with anything else. So I think that especially if you're thinking long term, right? Those personal DMs that you're giving people, those are the best investment that you can give for your long-term growth and the health of your account, because those are quality. Those are the type of people that are going to go, hey, I haven't seen Kate. I'm going to go look for her because she wasn't in my feed. And that's the type of audience that I have built. You know, a few months ago, I was like late posting one day by a couple of hours, and I had people calling me on the phone to make sure I was okay because they couldn't get a hold of me via DM. They were freaking out, more than one person, because I was really super rigid about my schedule. And now I'm not so much. I've thrown all the rules. I mean, you know, the self-improve rules of what it takes to be successful on X. I've thrown them out the window. I don't care. I'm going to post what I want, when I want, how I want. I'm going to talk to whoever I want, however I want, you know. And again, I'm trying really, really hard not to pay attention to any metrics. I think that is just going to drive you crazy. You're going to keep running to the next thing to try to make it better, and it's not going to be lasting. It's not going to stay better because things are always changing. But if you remain consistent, you remain committed, and you do that personal networking, and you're really building, you're really caring about people, you're going to be successful in the end. And all these other people that are running around chasing everything, you know, nobody notices when they're gone, unless, you know, they were doing 1,000 replies a day, and everybody's mad because now they have a bunch of hanging chads. They're really not missed if they're not, you know, there wasn't that human connection.
Yeah. And, you know, what's kind of interesting to me is like, I'm spending time in the chat group that if I ignored completely, it wouldn't matter. I can't get rid of these people. These two on my state, these co-hosts of mine.
You cannot.
I couldn't if I tried. So no, they're just a distraction completely. I'm not building relationships with other people in DMs. I'm not big on that, but I will text with a buddy, a friend, a close friend, like all day, and never be the last one to send a text, you know, or have to be the last one. How does that work? So, but no, I love what you're saying there, or I wish I was more like that, but I will just, when you know what will consume you, you know, it's best to maybe not do it. So DMs are definitely something that would consume me if I let it. with just people. But I do enjoy connecting with some people to figure out when their spaces are, for example. That's a great one. I do enjoy that, getting messages with people's DM spaces when they're happening so I don't miss them, because that's something that I don't always get. The notifications don't always come through, and then you don't always see them on the ticker up top or in the
they are so time consuming to send the DMs. What's your secret? Because I know you used to send me DMs all the time, but now I'm almost always here.
This is all she does.
The one time I went to DM people, it created a freaking group chat. I was like, oh my God, I'm so thankful. It was only 4 people. Rich was one of them. And that was like my favorite group chat. But how do you send? You have to do it individually every time?
No, I don't do that. I have there's a couple groups that are big groups. I send it out, and that's pretty much it. With the community, it does help because everyone does most of the time get that notification. And then I have it running as a live stream too, to just like get a little bit more visibility on it. So people might see that and then head over. Oh, they're in the space. I'll go head over. So that's my only really other marketing tactic for the spaces. Besides, I also have the website. Oh, yeah. And hopefully build up an email list so I can send people in their emails when the spaces are starting and stuff. So I'm taking a little bit of a different approach versus, getting into a message chain back and forth with people, because I forget stuff, I think. But I do like having things written down. So I don't know. Okay, I'm totally veering off.
Well,
You're doing great, Kate.
I don't think you are, Kate. I think that's part of it as well, is that marketing aspect. And I'm not super strong on that. I rely on, posting in the community, word of mouth. And honestly, I like small spaces. So I don't need 800 people to feel like the space is a success, which I've done spaces that got really big like that. And it was kind of stressful. I couldn't just have a casual conversation like we're having right now. But that marketing is important. And it is something that, I'm committed to this year, getting that email list together, maybe doing a little newsletter and being more proactive in reaching the people that want me, right? I really don't want to spam anybody, but I definitely want the people that want to see my stuff get that little tickler and, remind them that I exist. That's important. It's really important. And it's not something that X makes easy, because there's notification glitches, there's feed glitch, there's all that. So I think that if we're going to be smart and successful, that marketing angle is really important. And I don't even want to call it marketing, just that communication. We need to have a variety of tactics in communication to reach our audience.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I always look at it this way. If I want to know about somebody, if there's, let's just say I'm a slimy pet that is obsessed with Elon. Okay. So I want to know when Elon's on a space, right? So I want to make sure I'm getting that notification. And if I didn't, I would be pissed because I'm a big fan. And so I know that there's probably a couple people lurking out there that feel that way about my spaces and some of my stuff. So if they don't get notified about it, they're going to be bummed out. So I have to kind of go from all fronts to make sure that they get the message. And the people that are like, okay, yeah, I don't care, are going to not come anyway. So I don't care if they get annoyed by seeing it too many times. So that's just how I mentally prepare myself for marketing and stuff. So I'm not afraid to just assault from every angle possible. Because if that one person who was looking for the information now can find it very easily on their first try and not get kind of frustrated about where's the link? Where am I supposed to go? How do I find it? What time is it again? All that stuff. And then has to go on some sort of quest. When that's your ideal follower, your ideal fan that you should make life really easy for. So that's who I'm always thinking about when I'm posting and sharing stuff. And speaking of that, I did pin up above here my little, my favorite word this week is manifesto, but this is a little bit about where I'm taking this community. And so there's a lot of things in there. I have a couple other things, the website. I'm also building a group on another platform. So if you are active on another platform, you can go to the website and get on that list. So I'll send you an invite to that group as well, just as another place to share ideas and collaborate, because I know if you want to post about collaborating on this platform, you kind of have to put out your idea to the whole world now, because you can't just post in the community. It has to go to everybody. So instead of just having stuff in the DM so no one can really see it, you can go to this other group on this other platform and then maybe make a connection there and work things out in a more like closed in environment, because it's hidden, it's private, no one else can see it unless you're in there. So it's just an idea. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm kind of just liking this idea of branching out a little bit and having different places and tactics to things. Yeah. Okay. So we got Rich hand up, and we got Yvonne up on stage. We got some lovely speakers up on stage. Lovely to see Brian, Artist Journey. We got Josh, Human Rebuild. Gunky's up here. Pius we saw last week. So some amazing stage up here, and we might get overfilled. So just as a warning, if we need to bring people up, we might rotate people around. So if you have something to say, you want to add, throw a hand up. I'll make sure I get to you. So go ahead, Rich, and then we'll go to Yvonne.
Yeah, you know, when you were talking about like getting the word about your spaces out there and having to send out those separate DMs, it kind of reminded me of something that Orah set up recently for her subscriber spaces. I know we all, a lot of us really dislike group chats because, you know, once you're in a few of them, you're getting those notifications all the time. So eventually you just mute the notifications and then you just pop into it whenever you want to. But Orah, she set up a group chat for her subscribers, for her subscriber spaces for when she's launching one, because a lot of people really enjoy them. And there's no other chat allowed in that group chat at all. She just sends out the notification of the space. And I think that's such a great idea. And I actually do wish the X would let us modify the group chats a little bit so that you can mute everybody except for like the admin. That'd be awesome. But what she's doing, and nobody pops into it. I haven't had to mute it at all. Because really the only thing it's used for is for her to alert people that she's launching a space. Anyway, I think it was a wonderful idea, and I just wanted to share that with people.
Yeah, that's awesome. A little place for people to go and do all that. And yes, those features would make it easier for me to think I could take that on. Yvonne, lovely to see you. How are you this evening?
Oh, sorry. I was actually replying to your comment under the post. I love those answers down there. Oh my goodness. They're afraid of my genius. I was fired. I'm awesome, you guys. Yeah, like I was just going to pop in here and, you know, kind of feel the pulse, see how you guys are doing and stuff. But then also I was going to say, like, how the heck are these people freaking replying 1,000 to 2,000 times a day, y'all? Because I've been trying to reply more and be more active with that. I get so busy and like working for things like to actually produce stuff in my business and everything. And, you know, Kate, I know you know this, and Christopher, you do too, right? Or even Rich for that. Like so many of us in here, so many of us, like when we're creating some of our original content, like even when we're taking AI images and animating those and then laying it, a track of sound or like telling a story with that. I mean, all that stuff takes so much freaking time, right? So you're spending the time to produce those things. You don't have time to sit there and reply all the damn time, right? So I checked mine. Girl, I'm not even at 1,000 replies, even though I tried to ramp mine up. And I always reply to people under my replies and stuff, but I'm trying to like reach out and reply to other more like new people and stuff like that. And I checked mine and I think I'm like at 700 and something for like the week. I'm like 700 for the week and I'm freaking exhausted and I got a million other things I need to do. How are these people doing that crap at 1,000 a day? So I'm sorry, I'm just going to bitch about that for a little minute. Because I'm like, that's why I'm super frustrated with the new payout that they have. I'm wondering with the increases that they've done on the Premium Plus, if that's going to end up being a change. I will tell you, because one thing I did notice, so I have Premium Plus, and one thing I noticed is under Premium Plus, I'm not sure if it was in your space, Kate, or someone else had mentioned this, but I'm just sharing in case you guys haven't heard this on the X Streets. Someone mentioned that part of the reason that, it might have been Alex Utopia actually, that they increased increased premium is not only because of Grok 3 and having access to that and having access to voice, which is very much like how GPT has it, right? When you pay for the plus, then you get the voice activation, like to be able to have the conversations and stuff. But someone else also mentioned that maybe another part of the reason is because on X Premium Plus, they don't see ads, right? So that's another reason they increased that. So that might have been a mistake on Elon's part. When he first priced that out, he didn't price it properly. And that's one of the reasons why they're having to do this increase, and they need a reason to be able to do that. But I will say, I did actually notice, and I haven't seen it again since, but like earlier this morning, that I did see an ad under someone's, even though I have Premium Plus. So maybe some of that is shifting, but I'm just frustrated, like, that it's like that is the only way you're making money on here. I think freaking blows ass. Just saying. I'm like, we need to be a little more like YouTube. It needs to be like based on time of content and things like that. I did find something out. Sorry, I'm like totally rambling. I did find something out though, and I still haven't posted it yet. I'm gonna try to post it today. When I was working with Grok and I was asking something totally like a fluke kind of thing when I was watching this docuseries the other day on ancient Egyptian artifacts and stuff like that, was really cool. And I asked something about it and then asked Grok, can you, oh, this is really cool. I really dig this. Maybe I might want to post this out in a thread or something. Can you like redo this for me in a thread? And when I did that, I accidentally stumbled upon, oh my God, now I realize the reason, I think, why the shorter, like one-line sentences are getting a lot more traction than the longer ones. And it's not just based on audience retention, by the way. There's some other factors that I discovered in there when I saw that I think are really, really vital and will be important to share out to you guys to know. But like, seriously, like, are you guys doing even like 600 replies a day? I'm like, how much freaking time do you spend on like, how is this possible?
Yeah, I think most of those people that are doing those amount of replies are using AI, whether that's like they're having the AI send it out themselves or they just, curating their responses and then they're manually hitting send. But regardless, like they're using AI in some type of way. But I do think it's kind of crazy how, premium is now $40 a month if you're paying monthly, $400 a year or something like that. Like it's ridiculous. Because, if you're paying that much and it's not, and, for most people, like we're saying, like, it's not even pushing out your content, that's not really, worth it. Because that's one of the main things that, aside from all the other features that, Premium Plus has, it's like your content will be more seen. You have 2 times reply boost. Where's the 2 times reply boost? Like most people have not seen that at all, whether it's for, your own content or a reply in general. Like I've noticed that, like usually, like last year, like if I replied randomly to something, I'd get a reply that had like 100,000 views or 100,000 impressions or whatever. And like now I do a random reply and it's like 200 views or 200 impressions. And it's like, what? Like I would maybe understand for, your own post, but like if your replies are pretty much in the same boat, right? And then I'll look at other people's replies on a post as well. And it's like, they're almost in the same metrics, when typically there's like at least 20 of them that have good metrics on them. It's like, what's going on? That's not even, worth it. And I think they really just need to tone it down and they need to hurry it up with the tips, because I think tips would be a lot more beneficial, like on post, not, the tip in the profile. I think that would be a lot more beneficial than, oh, you can do ad revenue. I'd rather just, set up myself a budget of, I don't know, something as simple as $10 a month for myself. And I can tip a creator 25 cents, 50 cents, whatever I want. Right. And if you have a measly 1,000 people or 10,000 people that do that, right. I think I did the math, right. If you have like 10,000 people that tip you 25 cents for one post, that's like 2,500 or something like that. It's like good money. But like basically if you do a post like that, and you only do like 4 quality posts to where people tip 25 cents at that volume. So people are tipping you basically $2 a month, right? That's $100,000 a year for 4 quality posts at 25 cents, right? So like, that's a lot better for us and the consumer, than doing subscriptions. And then, oh, well, if you don't have your impressions, well, you lose your subscriptions and ad revenue and your account can be randomly suspended and all that type of stuff. So I think they need to fix that dramatically. But yeah, that's my 2 cents before I go on a tangent.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that would, boy, just having a little bit of something that you can give somebody more than just a little like, a few pennies here and there. Wow, that would make such a huge difference. And
It would be great.
yeah, and the reply, Yvonne's a full-on reply gal now, everybody. You heard it here. So be on the lookout for her. And yeah, I can't even imagine doing, 1,000 replies in a day. Yeah, and I look at some people's stats when they post it, and they're like replies for the pay period are like 4,000. I'm like, what? How? Where? What? I just don't even know. And then I kind of do a little bit of sleuthing and check out the replies, and it is often just the emoji or agreeing with a statement and not much of a response. And I'm almost willing to bet that that's actually a genuine person replying versus an AI reply or an automated reply. I think the ones that are really like longer replies that are clearly AI written are probably using like Zapier or, well, I don't think Zapier even integrates with X right now. Maybe it does, but there's other ones that will trigger when you're tagged in a post or something and will send an automated reply. And those things are connected with the API and legit with X, so that's probably what some people are building those tools maybe for themselves and doing it. Some of the nerds on here, I'm sure I could see that happening. It wouldn't take much.
Could be like a browser plugin or something.
Yeah. So they could, or maybe having, a few canned responses or just having a GPT response from the post, for context, and it just approves it, click, and it goes out. I just don't know how, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. That's just hypothesis.
It's pretty easy to see this kind of stuff when it's like a very long, like 2-paragraph thing, and it's like very generic. You can kind of tell. So, and if there's a lot of that, and it doesn't switch up all the time, like short, long, short, whatever, you can probably tell.
Yeah. And have you guys, like, I didn't switch my account over to professional account because I know like when you switch over to a professional account, I don't know why I haven't done that yet. Like then you can add like your own store on there on your page. That's a way to, like, if you have Shopify and you have a store with some of your products, you can incorporate it by using the professional. But I know also by using the professional option, you can also have ads where you can promote your stuff. But now I'm noticing and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but on every one of my posts now, even when I reply to someone, I am seeing the promote button on the top right. Are you guys seeing that as well?
I'm not, but for the shop, you don't have to have a professional account. You just have to turn on your X shop. That's all you have to do.
Oh, that's good to know. I'll look into that. And I just am constantly getting solicited to become a verified organization. That's what I'm always seeing.
Dude, they spam the hell out of that. Like every time I go on the web, it's 40% off for 12 hours. Bro, just get out of here.
Yeah, I'm not paying $200 a month for X. No, $40 is already like really pushing it. And that's going to be a hard decision one of these months. I'm going to continue on with the hands here. Thanks, everyone. We're going to have to rotate maybe people occasionally. So don't take it personal if we drop you down. We'll bring you back up. Just request again because we've got a full stage up here. And we've got some amazing speakers. So I definitely want to hear what everyone has to say. So back to you, Orah.
Well, Yvonne, you just brought up, one of my biggest pet freaking peeves. And I got to say with the good news, I have seen some of these, 1,000 reply guys getting suspended over the last week. So I'm really happy about that. And yeah, it's either one of two things for them to reach that. It's either really crap, low quality replies, GM, GN, or an emoji, or they're these so well written, insightful 3 paragraphs that I know are automated in AI. There's no in between. And I do think, so I'm going to kind of maybe start a rumor here. Somebody gave me a theory, and, a lot of people that I know and have been in the trenches for, over a year have like no reach at this point, like, 20 views, 40 views. And they used to get hundreds and hundreds of comments too, because they were reply guys. And now they have no visibility. So the theory is, and when I heard it, I was like, I think this might be true because my visibility hasn't dropped, is that if you're connected to too many of these accounts, when they're getting suspended, the hanging chads, and you go clean it up, it doesn't matter. The algorithm has identified you in that silo and is going to deboost you if you're engaging with shitty content, doing low quality replies. And I was like, that kind of tracks, because even though I have far less impressions than I've had, I've never been invisible. And I haven't been able to figure that out because, I do very long form content. It's not stuff the algorithm loves, but I'm still seen. I think my lowest has been like, maybe 100 or 200 impressions on a post. So I do think that there might be some truth to that. And I've decided to go ahead and share that with people, because even if it's wrong, I don't think it's going to hurt anybody to really be mindful about the quality of content they're engaging with and the quality of people they're engaging with. That's not going to hurt you to have high standards. I mean, you'll lose some impressions, you'll lose some replies, but I don't think those replies are really going to help you in the long run. And then what was the other thing? There was another thing. Oh my gosh, you guys, because she went through a bunch of stuff and then Human went through a bunch of stuff. There was something else, but I can't remember. So I guess I'll hold it until I can remember, unless you throw me down in the gulag and then I'm just never speaking to you again, Kate. I'm joking. I'm joking.
Can I add something really quickly, Kate, before I know we got a lot of hands, but I did want to touch on what I think Human Rebuild said about like tipping and us being able to tip out like the content that we like. I love that idea. And I've always thought that that would be awesome if X like created some sort of X token, maybe even give us our tokens or whatever, like with our premium and premium plus subscriptions, and have like a token be a very small fraction of a cent, like, 1,000th of a cent or something like that. And it could fluctuate. It could be a flat rate economy sort of thing, or it could be like a cryptocurrency sort of thing. And, then we could even make it that like anytime you like, it automatically takes one of your tokens and gives it to that, the content that you like. Or anytime you comment, maybe if you apply a tip with that comment, that your comment gets boosted. I don't know. I think there's a lot of ways we could do that. Then it would pretty much be directly our payments coming from one person to the other, and not so much, the algorithm or the platform deciding how and who gets paid and how much
Super
and
likes.
stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like give them like 6 or 7 different types, just like LinkedIn. It'll be amazing.
Oh, well, see, I don't know. I don't use a lot of the other platforms, so.
Yeah. I think everyone can get on board with tips. That would just be fantastic. I would be on board with just getting like subscriptions, the threshold lowered for that. I think that was kind of silly to make that a more difficult thing to achieve than ad monetization or creator monetization. I think it's kind of backwards personally. Anyway, so let's go to these hands. We got some wonderful people waiting patiently. Thank you so much. Famous in my phone was next. How are you doing this evening? Great to see you. You want to touch the mic button so that we can hear you? Oh.
What's up, Fizzy?
Famous.
We lost him.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we'll just
call
too
it now.
famous
Time
for
of
us,
death
I
is
guess.
4:53 p.m.
Well, we'll go to his new best friend on here. We've got Gunky. I was flooded with their bromance in my replies, so we'll see what Gunky's got. How you doing this evening?
Oh, hi, I'm cool. Mrs. Fry, Captain Bly. Yeah, cool. Where are we at with this? I mean, one thing I've noticed is something I've done is, I think came off the back of something I said the other day, is that, the quality of who you're following can really affect how you perform on X somehow. Anyway, so I've ditched, I think, 1,600 and something people that I was following. That has cost me, I think, 8 followers. So either they didn't exist but what I've noticed is that if you've got your For You and your following, I'm getting better stuff. I'm starting to curate. So if I click following and just see what they're up to, I'm slowly curating that, and I'm just not getting the sort of really repetitive political stuff, and just trying to steer everything towards creatives. So I'll jump in. And in the process of sort of going through all the people I was following, I didn't have particular criteria. If they were following miles more people than were following them, that was like a little red flag. So they were gone. Few people I kept just because I liked their name. a few people I'm like, oh, I remember that guy. And I'm like, he just never showed up on my feed. We followed each other. Maybe we had a chat 2 years ago. And so, yeah, I would recommend doing it. It's very laborious and time consuming, but I think it's really, really worth doing. And it really hasn't cost me anything to, there's the worry if I stop following them, they stop following me, I somehow get smaller, but that just hasn't really happened. The other thing is I think we're trying to, this is like the foot that can't fit the glass slipper. I don't think X is quite what any of us would like it to be. It's a really hard thing to manage, I find, and to curate, to turn dials up and down and group things together, and it's just not in it to be able to do that at this point. But yeah, that's my little bit. Sure I'll have more.
Yeah, that's great. And yeah, well, who you're following, I've learned over time that makes no difference to the content you see on your feed, like zero difference. It's who you interacted with last, and that's about it. And then maybe just some stuff that's randomly for you, apparently, which is some algorithm I don't understand. Because yeah, I know my feed was really good. Like I want to say, like the end of the summer, early fall, like the algorithm was like right in that sweet spot. It was really fun, and it's just kind of, I don't know, something's gone wrong. Not sure what. But yeah, it doesn't matter who you follow, really. So you see these accounts, oh, they just follow one person. It's like, yeah, I don't blame them. Like there's no reason to follow anybody. It doesn't do anything, which is just crazy. Just crazy. I wish I that. Yeah, please.
I'm sorry. I'm biting my tongue. I hate to be rude. I'm going to disagree with you. And here's why. I started an alt last week. And, in the very beginning, it was Elon. And a couple of big accounts was on that for that feed. Then I followed a couple of people, not very many. And they immediately were in that feed along with Elon. Then I followed a few more people. I didn't want to do too much because, if you're having separate accounts on X, you're not supposed to cross the streams. But I did follow a couple of their alts. This is actually an alt to follow some other alts because we're going to do an alt space at some point. And the minute I did that, I started seeing people I know, but people I don't want to engage with because they post crap. And I realized, yes, absolutely, who I follow, it's also who they're engaging with and following. That's how I get garbage in my feed. So if you are associating with accounts that associate with crap, it's going to end up in your For You. And regardless of who you're engaging with, it's just, at least at this section with this small alt that I have, that is absolutely. So it's almost like in real life. If you hang out with people who hang out with losers, your car is going to get broken into. They're going to break into your house. They're going to, or you hang out with high quality people who also have high standards for who they hang out with. And you're going to find that utopia of a feed. That is my working theory at the moment. And like Gunky was saying, I have been going through everybody I follow, and I'm being rather ruthless. And there are people that, I've really hesitated. And then I was like, wait a minute, am I missing out if this stuff is not in my feed? You know what? I'm not. So unfollow. I'm being really ruthless, but I'm at the same time able to start seeing these accounts that are amazing. I saw Luan down there. I don't know if she's still here. I have not seen her in forever, but I saw her on one of my lists. And then, me engaging, that did bring it into my For You. So you're right about that part. Who you engage with does bring it into your For You, but you really want to make sure you're engaging with high quality accounts that are doing it for the right reason, not for the gaming of the system and the metrics so much. And while that seems counterintuitive because you want more and more and more to get paid, as I've been doing this, I engage outbound a lot less. I'm getting less inbound engagement, but my pay is staying about the same and I am getting paid. So I think that's a sign that it's okay what I'm doing. And then the other thing I'm noticing And I don't know if, I remember what I wanted to say. Human touched on it. The Premium Plus and that boost. I always thought that was my content that was getting boosted. It is not. They're very clear in that fine print. I don't know if they've changed it. It's only your replies. It gives you a reply boost. But I feel that as I've been calling my account and reducing my followers, that is giving me a huge boost to my replies to big accounts. I've been getting, Brian Ramelli. Anyways, I don't want to get into the drama. I just want to say he's been one of my favorite accounts. I boycotted him a couple of months ago. He got suspended, came back, and he talked about, oops, my bad. And I wrote a very long reply to him about the whole thing. And, there were so many thousands of replies to him, and he and I are not buddies. He definitely saw my reply and wrote a very high quality reply. And then not only that, all of the interactions that I've been having on that thread, they're popping up in his feed because he's liking them. And I don't think that he's thinking, oh, that Orah girl's got it together, I got to pay attention to her. I think his feed is actually putting me in his notifications because I've been doing this quality control on my account.
Yeah, it's interesting. And yeah, I think there's something to that new account, that fresh new account smell that you can get, actually get that algorithm tuned up. And then I think time is what turns it into a dumpster fire. I really do. It starts out as a dumpster fire when you first get on, because they just give you everything that they think people want to see. And then you can get it tuned up pretty quickly, easily, because you haven't corrupted it yet. And then it just becomes like a garbage heap on top of a garbage heap.
But that's because you're adding more followers, you're following
Yeah.
more people and engaging with more people. I think that's what corrupts it. And I'm not saying don't engage with people. I'm saying engage with people because you really want to, like you really love their content or you love what they are doing. Don't just engage because they engaged with you.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. So we have a lot of hands here, and I want to get to everybody. So please, thank you for your patience, and it's great to see all of you. Sometimes we do these spaces and a few of the hardcore friends show up and we have a really great discussion. And then sometimes these blow up a little bit and we have all these hands, and it's just like a really exciting dynamic conversation. We get all kinds of points of view. So it's really exciting. And I do want to get to everybody. So thank you for your patience. I just want to remind everybody that we are hosting this in the Collaboration Station community. So if you're not a member yet, I would love to invite you to join. And with that, you can find out all about our spaces that happen twice a week on Wednesdays, 1 p.m. Eastern time, and then also this time on Sundays at 6 p.m. Eastern time. So those happen every week. And then I also do open up to anyone in the community. If you guys want to experiment with spaces, try it out. You can always pitch something because it's a collaboration community. So that's a great way to kind of get out there on X. So that's always out there for people. Always an opportunity to share what you're doing, what you got going on, something you're excited about, something you need help with, something maybe you want to help someone else with. It's all about those connections and finding other accounts that you could potentially work with. And yeah, so I think that's pretty much the spiel. There's some posts up above in the Jumbotron you want to check out if you want to know more. We also have the poll, which is ever important. Some say it's vital to the future of humanity. So make sure you do vote in that poll. Yeah. And I do have on my notes here, Josh, I had your hand up earlier. I don't know if you put it down because you got tired, or if you still wanted to speak, you're welcome to jump in now.
Your arm got
because I do
tired?
keep track.
Yeah, dude, my arm was getting really tired. I had to put it down. I was over here drinking a Dr. Pepper, listening to Chris.
Oh man, yeah, I was about to eat on a space, like really loud. Does anybody here have a problem with that specifically?
Dude, I love the conversation. Just wanted to come up and say, hey, I love what you guys are always doing. If I had to contribute anything, it is super hippie-ish. And like, why do you care about going viral? Go find your audience, actually speak to the people who give a shit about what you're doing,
Yes.
and build a relationship with them. Past that, who cares about the rest? Use the band 1,000 fan rule. Like, aim for 1,000 people who actually care about what you're doing. You'll be just fine. that 25-cent thing, it'll go much further. Just find the people who really care about what you're doing, and the rest grows from there. I think going viral is interesting for the moment. It really bothers you with extreme amounts of notifications, but does it mean anything? Not really. It might get you noticed for a blink of a second, but is it going to turn into anything that adds value to your life or what you're working on? Are you going to find people who care? And that's what I would focus on. So, but anyway, I'm not qualified to speak on this. So I'm just enjoying the conversation. I wanted to come say hey.
Always.
Yeah. Hey, thanks.
Oh.
Yeah, always a pleasure. And I want to say you are definitely qualified because that was amazing. Perfectly well said. And I get kind of diverted from that sometimes on here because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of distraction. There's a lot of people flashing the screenshots of their payments. There's a lot of like people upset with their stats when they got 70,000 views on something, and it's like you can get kind of caught up in that hamster wheel. So, but I totally believe what you just said. That's why I came to this platform, because I just wanted to just put myself out there and see what came back to me. And some of the most amazing things did. So that is definitely the way. So thanks for sharing that. Great to have you up here.
I can speak to the point about going viral, because I have gone viral recently. It was not like massive or anything like that, but like 200,000 plus, 220,000 on X, and believe it or not, like 70,000 on LinkedIn, which has surprised the hell out of me. But it's really not so much what, like how far you go when it comes to being viral. It's the effect that it has, right? If you're able to connect with certain people, it can open certain doors that, that you wouldn't even have had a chance to before that. So if you're trying to go viral, make sure you're trying to do it with the right kind of stuff. And I did that, and it actually worked out pretty well. So big announcements coming soon, possibly.
Yay. Very exciting. Yeah. And that's an excellent point. Cause like, what's the point of going viral for some silly meme that doesn't mean anything to you? Just thought it was funny. I mean, I guess if you're a meme account, that's your goal, but if your specialization, you want to go viral for something that's you.
I was just going to respond to Chris really quick. Like, yes, those people will get noticed, but they'll come to you because you got noticed and they found you from that. But man, are they going to be disappointed when they pay you, and then that one post that you share gets 10, likes and 2 shares.
That's how I get them. That's the plan.
So again, like running back to the same statement, if you build like a really great group of people who really do support what you're doing, then that's where you start really having that impact. If you're not ready, like you don't have the support, it's not going to look good on you. Like when you do take that offer, it's not going to happen again. That's for sure. So yeah, just 2 cents again, just keep doing you and build those people around you. But you have to be consistent about it too. Like you can't be a flaky friend. You can't be a flaky content poster. So like people's attention spans are so small that, you go on vacation for, 2.5 days because you have the flu and you're done. So it's sad, but anyway.
Yeah, perfect example. Orah's in here. She's sick as anything, and she showed up to the space and contributed like a true X account, true follower.
UK, you and Green Man are the only 2 I would be on for right now. I swear.
I love you. You're awesome. Thanks so much for coming. And we've got Brian here, which I'm excited to talk to Brian because he also I'm sure he has something to add that's unrelated to what I'm about to say, but he did a restart on his account, which is an interesting thing, kind of what Orah was talking about with her fresh account. So he has a perspective of ditching the old account that's the garbage account that can't get any reach because of who knows why, and started a fresh account. So I'm curious about those insights because it's been a while since he did that, a few months. And then also we are doing a space together tomorrow morning, and I'm going to share that while he's talking. So Brian, mic is yours. How you doing tonight?
Kate, what is up, homie? I am doing pretty well. What's up, everyone here in the room? A lot of friends in this room. What's up, guys? Yeah, so I'll talk quickly about that. I'm going to pose my first 2 questions, though, before I forget, because The first one is basically a plea to the social media gods. All I really want is for people who choose to follow you to be able to see your content without having to like be massively, I don't know, influx with drama and ads and this and that. Like, if only I can just choose to follow 5 people in this room, and when I log on, I see the things that I want, that I'm following them for. I just want, that's all I want. I just want to be able to see. And I want the people to be able to post their things, and the people who choose to follow them, it doesn't have to be notifications. It shouldn't be. It should just be like the normal following page, but it doesn't. Everything gets so drowned out. It's insane. The second question is, for some reason, I don't have purple pills in my spaces anymore. So like when I'm a guest in spaces, I'm not seeing purple pills. So I don't know why that is. So I can't ever see any comments or anything. That's like a new thing, and I've updated and updated and updated. So if anyone knows that, please let me know. And you can't put it in the comments because I can't see it. So with regards to the profile switch, yeah. So I have, I'm back to the original account, because the long story short of it is, I've had this account since, I don't know, whatever year we started Twitter, like 2010 or something. And I had thousands and thousands of followers because I have an entertainment brand. For those of you who don't know me here, I was a touring DJ for many years, and my Twitter was underneath that account. So that account, had thousands and thousands of people, and then everyone went off Twitter for a while and started going to the video platforms, and then we came back to Twitter, 2 years ago or something like that. So coming back to Twitter, I had tons and tons and tons of people who were not back on Twitter. So many lost people that just weren't active in 4 years or 6 years. So knowing what little I do know about the algorithm, I was like, okay, maybe there's if you post it shows it to your first 100 friends or something like that. And then if they engage, then it shows it to the next circle and then the next circle. So if all of these people aren't even on Twitter anymore, what good is it having followers if nobody's actually on Twitter anymore? So I did a massive, like I said, what little I know about social media. I know this now. I deleted 5,000 or 6,000 followers manually. I just went in like day after day, like 20 to 50 every day. And I was just deleting and deleting and deleting and deleting. And anyone that, I was trying to curate what we're talking about now, massively deleting. And it turns out that that's apparently a red flag. And I've been completely throttled for the most part since then. I've had a couple of posts, pop a little bit here and there, but for the most part, I say throttled. That may not be accurate, but what I mean is, I get 50 to 60 new followers a week just through spaces mostly. And I have 20, like Orah was saying earlier, I have 20 and 30 impressions on my posts. And it's just very strange. It's like my post can't be like, I don't pretend to be a great writer or a tremendous social media. Like, I don't know that I'm delivering gold nuggets that people have never heard before or the most unique. But like the idea that you can get 50 and 60 followers, I have 400 and something verified followers. I just found out that was a thing. But I have 400 and something verified followers. So they're actual real people, even if nothing else. But to get 20 impressions on posts, it's mind-boggling to me, mind-boggling. And the reason why I went back to this one is because the same thing happened in the other account. I set up the other account. We ran with it for like a month or two. It popped early. I ended up getting, like 150 to 200 followers in the first few weeks, again, mostly through spaces. And it quickly, like doing nothing else. It had no history. It was brand new. It was just since December or November. It was brand new, but very quickly, the posts, they were getting engagement. I have comments, I have retweets, I have all that stuff. And it just started going down and down and down. And I paid for premium on that account as well too. So I tried to do all the things, and then it just kept going down and down and down until like 40 impressions, 50 impressions, 60 impressions. And at that point, I was like, I'm kind of done with the experiment. I'm just going to go back to my other account, which is this one, the original one that I've had since 2010 or whatever. And I'm just going to enjoy spaces, and whatever happens on social happens, because I'm done trying to, smash my brain to figure this out. The only thing I wish now is that I had the purple pill with the comments so I can get involved in spaces. So if anyone knows that, let me know. And yeah, Kate, I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow, 10 a.m. We'll have a deep conversation, Q&A, a little coffee talk, a little Q&A. So hopefully you guys show back up for that again.
Okay, so that's super interesting. Because it's funny, I started seeing you again in my For You. So it must have been when you switched back to your original account and you started showing up for me again. Because whenever I see you, I throw you a like. I do that to people that I know so that like, oh, you're seen. Like I'm seeing you, your content's out there, just as a little cue. And I reply if I have time. But that's what I always like to do. So that's interesting that the new account just eventually kind of petered out and there was nothing, but now you're back to your old one and it seems to be maybe just the time passing cleaned it up a little bit. Who knows? So very cool. But yeah, our space tomorrow, I pinned it up above. You can RSVP for that there, and that'll be in the morning, probably pretty early for some of the West Coast people, but 10 a.m. on the East Coast. And yeah, I'm going to just interview Brian and we're going to get to know him and his journey. He has a credible life story and lots to share and lots of insights and lots of things to learn from. I'm very interested in, he's got a book he's working on. So I'm super interested in that process. And then also he's a burgeoning speaker on the scene. So I love the idea of being a speaker on stage and a keynote speaker at conventions and different things. It's always been something that's fascinated me. So I really want to ask some questions about that. So these are just some of the topics we're going to get into. So if any of that piques your interest, you can join us and we'll open it up for a Q&A at the end too. So you can definitely ask Brian any questions you got. Okay. Oh, we have to get Christopher back. Rich, go ahead, jump in, and then we'll go to, we lost, oh no, of the Beholder is still here. So you're up after Rich and then G.Lo. Rich, what's up?
Yeah, no, I was listening to Brian and Brian, first of all, I'm looking forward to listening to the interview tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be great. And to your question about the purple pill, I'm curious, if you go to Kate's page right now, her profile, and you scroll down to the first post, do you see the space posted with 23 comments? Because that essentially is the area that the purple pill would be. So that might be a roundabout way of seeing it, even though you're not seeing it at the bottom of the space.
Hold on, I'm going
curious.
to keep my mic on for a second just so I can do it and answer you while I'm trying to see it. So
Okay.
I see nobody cares about your content. So I can click in that.
Yeah. And then, so if it's the one.
Oh, yeah. So I can see some recent comments in here, G.Lo, Kim, a couple of other people. Yeah. So I can see it that way. That's
interesting. So, well, there's, a roundabout way of getting there for, when you're doing your interview space or future spaces. But yeah, I have no idea why you don't see it in the space.
Yeah, there's just a little blue plus sign, and all it is creating a new post. And it's not just this one. This has happened in a couple of different spaces for me this week.
Fantastic. A new glitch for X. Woohoo. Always love those. Yeah. So this is are you on desktop?
No, I'm on my iPhone always.
Oh, maybe there's a weird
wild
iPhone glitch. See, I haven't updated my iPhone in a while. So, but I've been keeping the X app updated. So that's interesting. I don't know. So if anyone hears anything about that, feel free to chime in. Next up, we got Eye of the Beholder. So I don't know. Have we talked before on a space? I can't remember, but it's great to see you.
Good evening. No, we haven't actually spoken a space before. I think I might have spoken to Chris briefly once.
Yes. Good to see you.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me. Just to chime in on the discussion that you guys have been having is I've been having a little bit of frustration around this, and I'm quite managed by the good friends that I have within the space who always just remind me, just keep on posting what you love, what you believe in, whether it's my still images or the videos that I've been doing, and just keep on doing it. My main gripe is that when I started, a year and 3/4 ago, I was dedicated to the slow build, the slow grind. Okay, I'm not going to get much at the beginning, and it will go on. And I got to pretty much the turn of this year, And it felt like there was some sort of seismic shift in which the algorithm was just like, yeah, you in the bin, get in the bin. Like I was before then, I'd got to a point where, I think Josh was saying, and hi Josh, like me and Josh speaking in another space quite a lot. Josh was saying, find your audience, find that 1,000 people who were into, I felt like I'd got there and I was consistently having good interactions and engagements with a load of people that I'd grown with over the last 2 years. And then it felt like we were shattered. And I was private messaging these people after a while saying, are you seeing any of my content? Because I'm not seeing any of yours. And you're the only people I've been engaging with for the last 2 years. And they weren't seeing my content either. And my impressions had gone back a year and a half. It's like, there's a lot of gurus, ex-gurus who know the algorithm apparently and allegedly, and they spiel all this rubbish out, and I don't buy any of it because I thought, okay, I'll give that a chance. I'll do a long post thread. I'll do this. I'll do that. So nothing has changed. And like at the end of the day, I followed the people that I wanted to follow because I liked their content. People have followed me back, and I know people have suggested really culling the following group and trying to. But if everyone's doing that, then how can we expect anyone to follow us? Aren't we just all culling each other at that point? You know what I mean? So, like, I just would like some clarity. That's all I want from the platform. Just some clarity as to the way this thing is working and.
Well, I agree with you there. Like, yeah, if nobody's following anybody, then who's going to be around to follow you? Exactly. I mean, you must be putting out some really good content. But I mean, I do also understand wanting to like really, really curate your feed. Your For You to like those accounts that like really resonate with either you or your brand or whatever you're on X for. But yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
To be honest, dude, I tend to ignore the For You section now and just curate lists because my For You, no matter what I seem to do, it's just ultimately dominated by US politics and Elon. And I know it's his platform, but I have no interest in it. It's just every other post is just that. It's like, leave me alone, please. Just for a second, just leave me alone. I just want to see some videos and some like AI content. That's like how the space is developing. That's all I want. And just trying to interact with my people and get some more people to see what I'm doing, not less people. Because I know it was mentioned as well about you can't miss days. I've been doing religiously posting every day for the last 2-3 years and telling my missus I have to take a little bit of time out to do something just to stay in the loop. And then to have your legs cut off at the beginning of the year just feels like, what did I pay for this? It's worse than when I didn't have the blue tick. So like, come on. And I know the fact that what I'm doing now, especially with video, is much better than I was doing a year ago. I don't know. I don't want to come across as sounding bitter, but it's just you put in a lot of work and not seeing at least the minimum of what you were seeing a year ago. It just seems like unfair, to be honest. Like, why should I stay here?
I feel that, because I've been so excited about X and this platform and just so happy with everything and building a great community and meeting amazing accounts and everything. But like, yeah, this past week, I've been particularly this past week, it just kind of like has gotten to me. And it's taken a lot because I really do enjoy it. So yeah, that's why I'm just really just focusing on spaces and then doing other things because there's a different vibe going on. I think people are detecting it and feeling it, and it's just putting the pressure on all of us. I don't want to see all that stuff either. Like I should be informed about US politics, but I mean, to a point, it's really just too much. And yeah, so I feel that too. And I can't even imagine if you didn't live here. So yeah, I totally relate. And I hope you'll keep coming back to our spaces. This is a great place to just kind of vent those things and, you know, talk about what's going on, what's working, what's not. Like my account is, I don't even, posting is pointless unless I know it's someone's going to share it. And Christopher is very generous and reposts my stuff, but even that generosity isn't going to save me. Yeah. So thanks for sharing that experience. And you're not alone, believe me. So Rich put his hand up, and then we're going to go to g.Lo, which I haven't talked to in a while. So I'm excited to talk to g.Lo. But Rich, you jump in.
Yeah, Beholder, I just want to say, thanks. I'm going through your account now. I do follow you, but I don't see a lot of your content come up on my For You. I like that you're using lists. Orah has been advocating for using lists recently, and a lot of other people do as well. And I know some people just kind of like to create their lists and let that kind of organically flow into their For You, which does happen to a limited degree, because I do see posts, because it tells you, you know, sometimes how this post got into your For You, whether it's coming out of a community or a list or something like that. And I do see that posts from my list do come into my For You. And then I know that some users use like X Pro, and they'll have like 5 or 6 or more lists, and they'll just kind of spread them out over a wide screen and kind of engage with all those lists at once. So there's a lot of ways to do that. I don't do that, but I think that is a good way to make sure you're seeing the content that you want to see. And then finally, I also wanted to invite you. We're asking people, feel free to share one of your posts that you don't think got enough attention, you know, something that you created. Feel free to post it up there in the Jumbotron. I'm looking at your Superman thing that you made, and I think it's freaking hilarious. So I'd love if you posted that up there, but feel free to post whatever you want, man.
Yeah, definitely. And to anyone here on stage, if there's something you want to put up there, go for it. We'll check it out. We'll show it some love. So we got g.Lo up here. He does amazing live streams, and he's, you know, very much just a slice of life, I guess I'd call it, and thought-provoking questions, really great entertainment on here. So I'm looking forward to hear what g.Lo has to say.
Before I move forward, how is my audio? Because I'm on desktop. Is it good?
You sound good.
And there's a question. I'll come back to the question. Here's the question, and because I don't want to offend anybody, but does anybody in this space, do you have one big toe? That's going to be an important question. Does anybody only have one big toe? Just a curious question. It's a weird question, but I promise you it's relevant. Okay, so nobody has one big toe. Okay. So we all have our toes. We can all agree we all have our toes. Okay. And I'll come back to that. And it's just, I want to encourage everybody, because I've been listening for a while. I've been waiting for hours, Kate, just to get up on stage, and like Kate kept ignoring my hand raises and stuff. But now I'm, you know, my patience pays off. But in all seriousness, to encourage, who is that guy? He has amazing videos. He was just talking EyeoftheBeholder, you know, to encourage you, man. Like, your content is legit, heartfelt. It's excellent. And I mentioned in the comments, or in the purple pill, which Brian doesn't have access to. Brian has the gray pill, but X rewards time spent versus creativity, right, as of right now. And the reason is, it's not a startup, but they kind of are, right? So they need people to stay on this platform. And so whether it's through, you know, I don't swear, but like poo-poo posts or engaging questions, that's what gets rewarded. So unfortunately, people that are very extremely good creative content, like they put out great videos or just really well written, they don't necessarily get rewarded primarily over people that spend more time on the platform. And, you know, and I will say this, just keep putting your content out there. Like, who cares if one person sees it? And I'll tell you how important it is. If you guys click into my profile, I'm not asking you to buy anything or whatever, but if you just click on Egg Drop, I met him because of this platform. I was live streaming in 2015, and just to fast forward the story, we formed a tech company together, which we provided bot services, engagement. It was all within Twitter, within the live video platform. And I met him because of this platform. And he was one of the only few people that actually was watching me. And he flew out to Hawaii, and we met. And long story short, he's an engineer. And ironically, he ended up. So we did create a lot of products where actually Twitter actually gave us cease and desist letters, telling us to stop doing what we're doing. And just a funny story about that is that he ended up working for Twitter. So he became an engineer at Twitter. And so one of the questions I always ask him was this algorithm stuff. I said, Joe, what is this algorithm stuff? And he's like, even he doesn't know, because one thing he does know for sure is that the algorithm is not a sentient being. So I just want to encourage everybody, it's not some sentient being that you have to please. It's literal human beings inputting code when they need to. When the powers that be say, hey, something's happening here, let's change it up a little bit. Kate, and Chris are gaming the system, so let's make sure the algorithm doesn't favor them. Right? I'm kidding, they don't game the system, but it does happen. So in the area of the algorithm, now there are some basics that, I think all of us know, like relevance, signals, predictions, all those things, right? Engaging video, what type of posts get put in your feed. It's all based upon your time spent. If one that we can guarantee, it's all based on time spent. Now, unfortunately, not all of us have the time to spend on this platform. So to encourage people that are very good content creators like EyeoftheBeholder, I love doing, I get so much credit for live streaming, but that's not what I do. It is what I do, but I just love talking to people. And so my podcasts are 3 hours long. Not everybody wants to sit here on Twitter and watch a 3-hour podcast. However, there are a very select few that will actually listen to me on Spotify, or they'll go on my YouTube channel and they'll catch it there. And so I'll go back to the original question, is one big toe. And I know it sounds funny, but we all have 5 toes in each foot, unless you're some weird freak of nature, right? My question to the group is, if you have good content, and this is an encouragement, why would you limit yourself to one big fat toe, which is X? Get that little pinky toe moving. Go, just put your content on another platform. You don't have to engage there, but just get it out there. Secure your user handle, secure your branding. So when you do hit it, nobody can steal your content because you already secured those positions. That's why I said, hey, get those other toes going. Because like EyeoftheBeholder's got some great content. Kate and Chris, they create some amazing content. Like my question as a business, so a lot of people don't know, I'm actually a business person. So my question is, why would you not secure your place in other platforms? Not saying you're going to invest 90% of your time, but just get it out there and throw your nets. In the churches, and one of the things I do, I'm a pastor as well. So why would you not cast your nets? Just cast your nets, pull the nets in when it's time to pull the nets in. What you catch, you catch. Now, obviously, if there's like a billion tilapia on this side of the boat, I'm going to go to the left side of the boat. So just to encourage people that are putting content out there, don't do it for the algorithm, because remember, it's not a sentient being. There's actual humans that are sitting at a desk, right? I don't know if they're in Austin or in California, but they're sitting behind a desk saying, hey, okay, we got to change this up. We got to reward Greg for talking so long. So next week, you'll see me, getting some crazy numbers just for talking for a very long time. But that's all I wanted to add. And there's tons more I can share, but just encourage people, man, if you've got good content, don't do it for the likes and shares and reposts. Don't do it for that. That's a crazy hole to dig, and you keep digging. Stop digging the hole. Just put the content. Eventually, you'll be rewarded for the quality. If not here, hey, work with that little pinky toe, and maybe there's some people on Instagram that might like your content, so that's it. That's all I had to share, Kate. I appreciate you.
Yeah, that was really, really great advice. And yeah, absolutely. Even if it is just going over there and claiming your handle so that you have it and you can put stuff other places on occasion and just keep stuff a little bit active and alive. And then if something starts to work on the other place, then maybe you can focus your attention there and, just work on what works here and not expend 100% of your energy in one place. That's great advice. And it reminded me of how Christopher creates his content with a little bit of intention behind it as far as like the ultimate goal. Because I'm pretty sure for the most part, most of his posts, I'm not going to speak for him. I'm gonna let him speak for this, and then we'll get to the rest of the hands, guys. Is there's an overarching goal of the account versus just like the post. I want it to get a bunch of likes, go viral, and get a bunch of replies, and then to the next one, same type of thing. Like I think are you there? Because like you have an ultimate goal with your account was to attract a certain kind of client, I think.
Yes, just for the contract work that I do, people making videos, people that are working with AI companies, people that work with studios, that kind of thing. So, if I'm able to, especially for like commercial type work, like ads, if I'm able to get something viral that's visually appealing and grabs people's attention and they start reposting it specifically because it catches their eye, that's really attractive to a certain kind of client. And that's been Yeah, that's definitely been a goal. Like all of that has been a goal to attract that specific kind of person. But, I also want people to look at my stuff, my personal projects and stuff like that. I just don't know if that's really going to pay the bills long term.
Right. Yeah. So that's just like another approach to things. Like that's not my approach. I'm not necessarily on my timeline looking to attract people to build websites for. I mean, I do put out little tidbits of what I'm doing and stuff, and people can use that and apply that to their stuff if they need it. But yeah, it is interesting to have just like an ever-present goal, and then the content just fits into that goal somehow. It's this little puzzle piece in this like 5,000 piece puzzle, and if it isn't the one that solves everything, that's okay. We're getting our way as we build it slowly. So that's another way you can think of things, and it's not necessarily like this one didn't hit, so I'm going to just completely change the direction of everything I'm doing. You can keep that consistency that's totally authentic to you, and then it will eventually attract the right person that's supposed to see that stuff. And there is a method to that, and I think we touched on that a little bit already today, but good to talk about it again. All right, so continuing around with the hands. Again, thank you everyone for joining us. Hoping to wrap up the space here in about 20 minutes or so, but I'm going to make sure I get to all the hands. So next up was Slimy. So Slimy had an audio issue, I think, and had to drop down, but we got you back up. So what were you going to add?
Well, thanks for using me as an example a while ago. I don't even know how long ago that was anymore. So my For You page is either Elon or Elon drama. I can't get away from either, which is okay, I guess. The drama part I could care less about, but that's just fun. I did do another edit sitting here while listening, and I put it down in the purple pill because I couldn't edit the other one. For some odd reason, the app would not let me. So that one's going to stay how it is. But the other one, I think, is pretty good. I know Christopher liked the post. I don't know if I tried to take in some things, but I was told. But then, yeah. And then, of course, I ranted on X about Elon's changing his profile and keeping his blue check mark.
Yeah. Somehow he manages to get that back much quicker than everyone else.
Mars replied to my post, actually, and she said that's because he's part of the organization, the X organization, that he's allowed to change his profile without being verified again. So,
well, there you go. So get your application ready, get your resume ready, so you can go work for X.
I'm not planning on changing my profile though.
Yeah, we were all mulling about that a while ago. Like, maybe there's something we could do with your profile to help improve it a little bit again, because it kind of went through evolution a while back. It might be time for another one. So
Grok made this one. Grok doesn't do these images like this anymore. I've tried. I have really tried.
Well, it was Rich's idea.
It's a classic.
My first one, it was the old cat one's gone. It was too dark. It was too dark for background. This Grok made it bright. I tried to do another one before this one, but it wouldn't fit. So I'm like, oh well.
Well, yeah, we'll talk about that in another space, because I am interested in seeing where you want to take your account eventually. But you're doing great. You made the change. Tweaking stuff and doing different things, it's always a good idea. So nothing wrong with that. Did you see the changes, Christopher? Or?
With the text and everything? Yeah. So that it's good. I will say, like, it showed up in my feed, like the text was still pretty small, so you might want to think about bumping that up quite a bit, because you don't have to worry about covering his face. I mean, we all know who he is and what he looks like.
He's handsome. I think
the money makes him handsome.
I will say he's
the
less
money
attractive.
does not make him handsome, Chris. For the love of everything.
I love this. If you put him in a lineup, like if you saw like if you didn't know who he was and he was what do they call this? A mugshot. It was a mugshot. He'd be like, oh yeah, that guy's definitely a serial killer. And then you're like, oh, he's the richest man in the world. Oh, he's handsome. It's all about context.
All right. So, yeah. So
if you saw him on a subway, you'd be like, no, I'm going to go to the next car.
I don't think he's that bad. But yeah, there's plenty of Elon fans here. So we don't want to be dissing Elon too much on here. Set fire to the space.
No, this is relevant to what we're talking about, right? Like about your content and everything. It's less about your content, more about your personality. People love Elon because of his personality, and because of his money. Also,
yeah, and they also hate him because of his personality too. Oh. So it's that division,
and because of his money.
Yeah, and because of his money. So
it's polarizing,
owning it. You're never going to please the people that don't vibe with you. So he's doing it the right way, I guess. Is just being himself and doing his thing, and offending a lot of people. And not everyone's going to like everything. So yeah, all right. So let's continue.
Offending certain people, impregnating others.
Yeah, that's always that's always on the table. If you're using X, that is always a possibility. Just fair warning.
How he collaborates.
He should update his bio and put that in there.
He should, actually. That'd be funny. All right. So next up, I have Gunky. Then we have Joe, and then Artist Journey. So let's get to these hands. Get off of the Elon subject. Gunky.
Elon. No country for old Elon. Yeah, I like my metaphors, and I'm always trying to find one for Twitter. And a thought I've had about it is that it's Elon's club, and Elon and his friends up in the VIP lounge, and they're playing pinball, they're playing skittles, they're doing a bit of whatever they're doing, dancing girls. They're all they're doing shots off of Trump's tummy and who knows what. But what we're doing, I feel, up to a point, is we're just playing the one bandit a bit, and our currency is our time, and we just pump our time into whatever we're creating and doing, and then we pull the arm and we just don't know what's going to happen. This whole algorithm thing, it's really annoying because there's no target to aim at. It's like a moving target all the time, and I find it quite frustrating. And I don't go chasing it, and I haven't got a blue tick, and so I'm like, I only spend, or try to only spend, the time I can afford, just like a fruit machine, as we call them over here. Sometimes there's a payout, sometimes not. Plus, there's lots of little victories. Like, people are always nicking my memes. People are saying, hey, look, this appeared on this show, this appeared on this show, this is doing really well over here on YouTube, on Rumble, and on some of the live Twitters. I'm like, it's my meme. I don't sign any of my memes, so I just throw everything out there and see what happens. But yeah, lots of little victories. But I do think there's this glass slipper thing that we're trying to cram our toes into one glass slipper, and I think G.Lo's right. You've got to spread your webbed feet and get out there and do a bit of flipping around. But yeah.
How'd you know?
Sorry.
How'd you know?
Is that what you're doing?
No, the web feet.
Well, just a guess. It's the voice, really. It's that subtle little croakiness just from the back of the throat. I think, they're a bit froggy.
Right. I interrupted you. Did you have something else?
Well, I've got a few ideas for the collaboration station, is to sort of collaborate more. And it just, I'm just throwing it out there, but the idea of having everybody who's prepared to put your names in the hat and get Christopher, yourself, Rich, whoever, Orah, whoever, pulls 3 names out and says, you guys, we want a design for a mug by the end of the month, or we want the start of a play or some creative thing, and just put people who might never meet in real life together to create something to present to the group on a day, bit of homework, something to play for, something to do at Easter or something. Another thought I've had is it would be nice to see like all the members listed somewhere with what their skills are, and almost like a wanted page. I'm making music, I'm looking for someone who could do an AI video, who could you recommend, and to try and not rely so much on Twitter or I have to, once this space closes, I have to go, and it's like instant research. Who said that? What was that about? What are they doing? What are they up to? What were they talking about? What are they? And I'm already, Twitter's just not a great place to organize anything, really. Anyway, that's my.
Yeah, no, I know it's a problem. And I have the Facebook group going, and in my pinned post up top, that's the long one that says, as the community grows, in there is how you can get in there, because I think that's the place where you can kind of show off your skills a little bit. They have this feature in the groups where you can be an expert. So you're an expert, and then you can list your little expertise. and I guess it shows up in there somehow. So that's one way. And I'm thinking like the group is a private group, it's hidden and everything, and just the members are in there. So you can probably like post in there and people can comment and reply, and you can engage and stuff in there where it's not like everyone on X is seeing it. It can be just like a more casual, like spitballing type of place. So that's what I'm imagining that for. I don't know if it'll work. I just started it last week. So I don't know, if that's even something that's feasible, but that's happening. And what else? Oh, and then I'm putting these out as podcasts as well. So you can get them on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And the Collaboration Station is the name of the podcast. So you can, listen at your leisure there. I take out the ums and the pauses and stuff. So they are a little bit shorter as well. And yeah, then as far as the articles go, I was doing articles for the spaces, like a little roundup. And it's just, I don't know. It's just like, how much can I do? So I occasionally will do those if I have time. Occasionally will not. It's just, me. So I do have my helpers. And if anyone, wants to do something, I'm all ears too. So that's just so that post that has like my whole plan for the community and what I can contribute and do. So, and whatever anyone else wants to contribute and do, I'm totally open to ideas and suggestions. So, thank you, Gunky, for always showing up, always adding, even without a blue check mark. You're a good guy.
There's nothing in it for me. I'd just say, I'm happy to sort of help with all that. I can do, at least sort of present my idea a little better, and there's something you can, for people to bat off. I suggest maybe we have this, and if there's enough, it's always if there's enough interest, isn't there, to warrant spending a week putting a spreadsheet together of everybody and what they do, kind of thing. But I do think it'd be really useful. And just the very, very last, two very quick things. This Yakarino, seeing if we can get her into a Q&A on Spaces and find out what the hell, what is this flipping one-armed bandit we're all playing? What is it? What are the chances of winning? And how, what are the strategies to use? Is one thing. The other thing I'm very interested in, if anyone knows any more about it, is this 50-50 thing with Peter Gabriel. I'm fascinated by it. His studios are just down the road from me. I've driven past it a couple of times, and what fascinates me is how much music has been created that doesn't have a good video. And I love the idea of creating videos for music that never had a video, B-sides, album tracks. They're on YouTube. People have a little go, but this, splitting 50-50 and using him to connect to, I don't know, Pink Floyd, or, he knows everybody, doesn't he? Brian Eno, he knows the producers, he knows the record companies, this, that, and the other, to sort of say, if you produce a video we will stick it on that band's YouTube channel, and you will get 50% of any revenue it makes. And I think that could be an absolute revolution to all the, I'd get much more into AI just on the back of that, to think that was possible, kind of thing. I can think of 100 tracks off the top of my head that have got no video or crap videos that I could think of things to do with it. Anyway, that's my 20 pence worth.
Yeah, if anyone's not following Peter Gabriel on here and they're into his music or into like art, he's doing some very, very cool things with some very cool and talented AI artists. So worth just investigating, and he's sharing the stuff on here. So that's even cooler. Yeah, and learn about what Gunky's talking about there. I'm going to continue on the hands here so we can get to everybody before we close up. So Joe joining us up here on stage.
I believe the artist was next. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, okay. Okay. You want to wait?
Pass.
Okay.
Yeah, if I could wait.
All right, Artist Journey, you're up. How you doing tonight? Oh, maybe he's not ready.
And I could be real quick if he's not ready. Yeah, basically, I was just going to come from I had overheard someone before. So I have I'm at the 400 verified followers, and I've been kind of within my range of of followers and things for, kind of my stint of things. And I enjoy it. I'm posting for the people that are following me, and I love the posts that are coming in for the people like I follow and all that. But I from what I can see on that is that like a regular post that might not be anything special is right around about like pretty low on the 25 to like 30 impression range. Like, and that's average for like, I would expect that. And like, if it were to go high, I mean, some of my posts, like they'll max out at like 50 or like 70. Like there's nothing really indicating that they're going to go that much higher. So from an account that's usually in this like 400 verified, like I can get them to go. I think I had a one last week that got into the thousands, but it's like on an average, they are about that range. So I just want, to kind of throw that out there that I was like, well, I think I put out okay-ish content and it could be better, but it on an average is like, maybe 80 and then like a couple likes in there. And I'm happy with that. But I didn't know if people were expecting more from that. But that's basically all I came up. Thanks for letting me up, by the way. I love your guys' spaces, and I'll let the other people talk. Don't want to take up too much time.
Yeah. It's interesting because, what do you expect on things? Like when I get like, 5 people reply and, 10 likes on something, I'm like, woohoo, I have a good day. This is fun. I'm having fun. Because it's usually the same group of people that I know, and it's just fun to interact with them and everything. And then I try and get out there on the timeline too and pay it forward a little bit. But yeah, I don't know how to like really break through much more than that. Sometimes I have stuff get up to like 1,000 or something, like I had some big accounts repost some of my content and it still like won't, it won't go any further than that. So you kind of wonder about some of this stuff, but I really just think it's the right people aren't seeing it. And it might be because I'm a confusing account, and that might be my own fault because I'm scattered all over the universe, but that's who I am. And that's it. And AI will figure me out eventually.
You did post about hay this morning.
Yeah. I posted an AI video animating Hawaii. And then I posted about being at the hay barn in Vermont. So, I'm a little all over the place. And then I rant about Etsy and then my websites and everything. So, yeah, but AI should be able to figure me out once it gets in there.
So maybe this is something we can learn from. If you have ADHD, maybe this content, this platform doesn't really reward that.
Yeah, I agree with that for sure. No, I definitely think if you really genuinely want to grow on this platform, you have to, or any social media, I think, is if the more niche you are, the easier that will be. But will it be sustainable for you in the long run? So it's a give and take. So I'm just me. I'm going to do what I want, and I'm fine with that. And yeah, and when it's not fun anymore, I'll stop. So okay, I'm going to try Wilfred again. Artist Journey, are you there?
Testing, I'm here. How's it going?
All right. Good. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, doing good. Good to see everybody. Icons and great conversation as always. Yeah, things are going good on my side. I've just been, dealing with real life shenanigans. So I've been thankfully working on some film productions and stuff, which is going good. I did a really fun film shoot as a day player for acting. So I'll mention that when it comes out, hopefully by the end of the year. But yeah, this whole thing about content creation and everything, I did share something in the Purple Pill. It just totally reminded me of this one post I saw on Humans of New York. It's kind of like an old account. I'm not sure I'm sure most people maybe not have heard of Humans of New York, but it's just basically photos of people that have been interviewed around New York, and they have all different prisms of ideas and thoughts and conversations. And there was one particular one about a guy using strong language, but he just said, I just turned into a slut for social media, excuse me. And then how, it just changed his entire behavior and intention of creating art. And then it was in service for social media and algorithms. And that totally resonated with me since then. It's been a few years since I saw that. And I'm not sure who had mentioned before, maybe Gunky or someone else, but sticking to authenticity, like of yourself. Don't rely too much on these engagement posts, the the meta, all the criteria, all that stuff we kind of get into. I just, for me, for my own mental sake, I try to avoid that just because it gets too transactional. It's good to do a little bit of a game talk about stats and whatnot, but once things get too transactional in how we communicate, that's just so off-putting, especially if you're actually forming real relationships, which I hope is what we're actually doing here. And which is also why I love going to this space. Again, this is like the only space that I go into. This is probably one of the only reasons why I still use X, to be honest. And yeah, someone had mentioned like the metaphor of like the toe, the pinky toe, that's basically going into different assets of yourself. And then yeah, so then I think that's like a really good thing to try out, Do this one. Yeah, let's try this one. I think that's my kid. He's just telling me what to do. He's always, for example, I saw Chris, you're on LinkedIn, which is pretty cool. LinkedIn has its own vibe, its own community.
It sure does.
Right? It's a bit transactional in a different way. It's like too faux, superficial, positive.
It's like X if everybody had a gun pointed at their heads.
Exactly, but they're holding the gun, It's like Russian roulette or something. But I find that I've gotten really good opportunities through LinkedIn because it's obviously it's obviously like, for job searching and networking and whatnot. So that's why people tend to use it. It's obviously much more pro AI. It really depends though, because I'm always surprised when someone actually shits on the AI work that I do. They said, this is bullshit. I'm like, wow, you're saying this on a platform with your resume? This is crazy, but go for it. Yeah, have fun. But it is interesting to repurpose, if you can, in a way that does not burn out yourself, but still, share out your content in multiple ways. I don't do that great on X, but for whatever reason, I do really well on Facebook. I do the metrics, for example, is I'll get like 10 likes here or whatever, but on Facebook I have over 2.5 million views. Have it, and it's the same content. So that's like one issue that we're thinking about, like this content that we're doing, it is possibly, the algorithms, how we're reaching out to people, but just keep in mind that even if it only has 1 like or 5, it's just maybe the wrong community or something. Don't think too much about, I had to do it at 9 a.m. at Tuesday, checking all the hot spots on the schedule and whatnot. Because, people are always online forever, 24 hours, so it doesn't really matter. But, you'd be surprised. There is like some dedicated groups in different social medias, and they're like really looking forward to it and what you're doing. And even if you have 10 people, that's a lot of people. Whatever room that you're in right now, there's 10 people in there. Hopefully you know them or not, but that's still bodies, and that's a crowd. That's still engagement. So there's a certain thing where we just start thinking about those statistics and numbers, and it just becomes so intangible, and then it just becomes this other entity, and then that's where we just think about this algorithm-based things, maybe because a lot of us are really into AI and whatnot. But I like Kate. I personally like seeing all the varied stuff you do, just because it's more human, right? I just see different parts of yourself. Even if you think like the most famous person, and then suddenly they do a vlog of like, hey, I'm just like hanging out at Whataburger or whatever, some people will probably watch that because it kind of shows it's another way to kind of look into authenticity and what they're going into, and just being more human in general. And I guess, for myself, in terms of sharing content or things that I've been working on, I was playing with Grok and ChatGPT and all that stuff, and I made like a mini game, which is really fun. I think it's in the Purple Pill. You can check that out. It's really fun for myself. I get my kid to play it. He's so scared of the game because it's so intense, but it literally looks like a 1990s like Windows DOS game, but it's just he's so freaked out about this monster chasing him. I'm like, oh, this is good. This is pretty interesting. But I do feel like this year is going to be the year of AI in gaming. Gaming is going to have huge strides, and I'm really looking forward to that. And just kind of excited to see how that's going to develop. So just playing around with Grok and like ChatGPT and all those different things. Yeah, and vibe coding, that's the whole phrase of doing that kind of programming stuff. And it's really fun, and you may not realize it, but you're actually programming, right? It's like the most natural way to doing LLMs. So have fun doing that, and the better you can get to that, the more exciting it's going to be. One last thing is, I know I was talking about the Miasma project last time, and I was making an AI agent. I recently just did it with the group, the AI company called Moontic, and we created an AI agent for one of the main characters for that story. And then we put it in a private Telegram app, and then we just started talking to it. It's fascinating because it's always not always cooperative, and it's like highly specific personality based. And if we talk about that character in the same chat group, it will always acknowledge it. And then if we acknowledge it in a way that it's like a computer, then it gets upset, it just tries to disengage. So it's been very fascinating to have a conversation. And it's almost like being in an interrogation room, but it's like, hey, I know your father. Your father came here to tell me to find you. I need to help you. And then it's like, my father. And then I have to like create this document with a keyword phrase that only the father would know, so that it would allow her to trust me, to cooperate with me. And it's just been pretty wild. So we're hoping to kind of launch this somehow on X, maybe on a space or something. And I think it'd be really cool to get people to interact with it and just see what that's like. So that's a lot of stuff in there. But thanks again for having me talk. And I am not a robot, and I enjoyed this group very much. Thank you.
Yeah, I know when you pop up here and you always have like so much stuff, and it's so cool because you're working on so many very interesting and cool things. So anyone here who's not following the artist's journey, you should be. And, again, the reminder of, spread yourself out. If something's not working here, try it somewhere else. See if it works somewhere else. And what's the harm in that? You can give it a try, give it a couple weeks, give it a month, give yourself 6 months somewhere else. I don't know, whatever makes you feel like you gave it a good try. And and then also determine like, what is the end goal, right? Is it like, oh, I just want to be monetized and making money off my social media? Then your content, if it's video content, you should probably be on YouTube and work in that. Or I don't know if TikTok's another place that you can get monetized with video content easier than here, and then if it's like, oh, I'm a writer, then maybe you should be over on Substack, or if you're something, professional, looking for professional clients, like, here, but then also LinkedIn, like you said. So, you have to just try and dabble and other things. And I will say, if it's to drive traffic to a website, you need to be on Pinterest. If you're not on Pinterest, you need to be for that. And it's one of those places that people forget about. The other thing that you mentioned was the AI gaming. And I wanted to bring this up before in another space because Elon said that it's the year of AI gaming. And it's very exciting. So if you're in that world, you got to start connecting to people, I think, because that's going to be something that blows up. That's not my world, but I am fascinated by the idea of personalized gaming, meaning like, oh, I feel like like the demo that they did on the XAI Grok stream, Grok 3 was Tetris, Bejeweled / Tetris. See, that's how I would use personalized gaming as just a normie. It would be, oh, I feel like playing a version of Tetris and Bejeweled. And I'd say that to my phone, and then it comes up on my screen and I can play it. So that's like how a normie envisions the gaming of the future of AI gaming. So that's just my point of view. And of course, these serious gamers in the room have other plans. But, developing something like that would be, probably a pretty good thing to get into. So I encourage anyone who's into that stuff to start making those connections and getting involved and hanging out together. So we're going to be closing up the space, but I'm going to go to G.Lo, who has had his hand up again and adds so much value when he speaks. So I'll let you speak again, even though you were teasing me a little bit.
I'm not going to take long. So just, you said Spotify, and I just wanted to highlight on that. For anybody that does spaces, I didn't record today because obviously it's not my space, but I record my spaces. And so I put it on Spotify if it's good enough, right? So, but that's good what you brought up, Kate, about the Spotify. For anybody that wants to own your content without big, what do you call those people? Big tech companies. For example, any one of us right now, tomorrow, we can get shut down for violation of TOS, terms of service, right? All your content is gone. So what you brought up about going into Spotify, putting your content on Spotify, and Spotify has video. So for people that didn't know that. And the valuation of Spotify is literally triple that of Twitter. And then if you're talking about an RSS feed, so for people that don't know, RSS feed is basically, that's yours. Once you upload it to an audio platform, that's yours. Nobody can take it away from you. And so that's smart what you brought up, Kay, about doing Spotify. But it also, when I do my podcast, it goes to all of them. It goes to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, every podcast outlet out there. It's there forever. So whether you're an artist, audio, whatever, we're all creating historical documents. And I love what you shared about Spotify. And, I do it all Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but it's good because it's yours. These are historical documents that nobody can take away from you. Nobody can shut you down for terms of service or game in the system because it's your content. So if anybody is venturing into that spaces, audio, Spotify podcasts, video podcasts, definitely hit Kate up. She'll give you all the details later. So there you go.
Yeah. And thanks for bringing that up again. So I kind of have been trying to figure out, like, what do I like doing? What kind of content do I really like to do? And it's definitely spaces. Like, I show up twice a week for these, and then I actually do others throughout the week as just randomly. So I really enjoy this. And just to have this happen in this isolated moment and never be mined for content again in some other way or used another way was really kind of gnawing at me. And so I talked to ChatGPT and I was like, how do I make a podcast? And it walked me through how to get on Spotify and all the other platforms. Spotify creators I found it to be the easiest way to just get it up, and then you can share it to the others, like G.Lo was saying. So I have set up with Apple Podcasts, and I have it set up with YouTube, so it goes to YouTube Music as well. So there's a lot of others out there, so I have a little work to do to get those other ones set up. But this is how you can kind of brainstorm ideas, like, what do you like to do? Then you can talk to AI or come to a group like this and be like, I really like doing this kind of content. I just don't know what direction to take it. You can get brainstorming about how you can repurpose it. I was trying articles, blog posts. I was trying other things, taking the audio content and transforming it, but just editing it out, a little bit of editing, very light editing, doesn't take much time because there's a lot of AI features in Premiere. So I can just take the audio and clean it up very quickly, get it out in a couple hours, after the recording, and then it lives there. So anyone can listen to the replay and it sounds much better than when you're trying to listen to a space on X on the replay. It's really clunky. So yeah, that's really cool. Thanks for reminding me about that, because I think that's just came from me just trying to hunt, like, how do I get this to be something more? And now I'm just doing it, right? So maybe me and a couple other people are the only one that listen to it right now, but I'll give it a chance. I'm going to give it a chance. I'm thinking about like 4 to 6 months or something of doing it, and we'll see what happens, and if it's not working and I'm kind of bored with it all, then I can stop. It's just me. I'm the one in charge. So
well, not just you. I'm here too.
Well, okay. All right. Okay. Fair enough.
Every episode.
All right. Yeah. No, it's not over yet. It's just starting.
I don't know. Is it over, Kate?
No. No, stop. Oh my goodness. It's so funny when people derail me. It's hilarious. I do enjoy it. And I do like a little bit of jabbing, you guys, when you pick on me a little bit, it's fine. I don't mind it at all. I do enjoy a little bit of back and forth. All right. So I'm going to close up the space though. This has been a fantastic conversation. As always, we had so many great speakers. Take a look around the room. Follow each other if you're not, because we got some great people up here on stage, everyone. And then we've got some amazing people just down there hanging out, listening. So thank you all for hanging out and listening. Thank you all for coming up and speaking, and everyone who was here earlier, who's drifted along in the wind. So we appreciate all of you. But we have, Rich put his hand up and I almost forgot. We have the poll. So
we have the poll.
What's going on with the poll? We might have all our answers revealed and we've been just blathering on.
Yeah, so the question for episode 37 was, what's the real reason why your content flops on X? And the vote with the option with the least number of votes was, I blame my followers. And then the next place was other. And there were a lot of suggestions that people left in the comments, and actually a lot of good, serious commentary there. So do please check it out. And the number one option that people chose was, people fear my genius. So it looks like we are all just burdened with brilliance.
Yeah, a lot of narcissists in the room.
Yeah, I chose PSYOP. It's all somebody else's fault.
Yeah, I did too. Yeah, definitely. All right, so that was fantastic. A great space today. And again, pinned up above and down in the purple pill is space I'm doing tomorrow morning, which is an interview with Brian Orah, who did sneak in here and talk for a little bit. And we'll get to know him a little bit better and what value he can provide, and learn a lot about his expertise. And he's writing a book, he's becoming a speaker, keynote speaker, he's been a DJ, he's a coach, business coach. I shouldn't say life coach. He's a business coach. He does some serious business. So he knows his stuff, and it'll be a really great conversation. And he reached out to me because I put out that general call for, hey, if you've got something coming out, something interesting that you're doing, that you're excited about, and you want to get a little bit of a conversation about it, I can do that. So like, I interviewed Christopher the other day for his release of his latest short film. And, we get into a discussion about that specific piece and a little bit of the creative process and everything behind it. And so what you can do with that is either it just brings more attention to it, or if he wants to be a guest on another podcast or something, he has this, he can share with somebody, be like, hey, I've been a guest on this podcast. Here's the episode. And he can listen to that. And it sounds like a very professional type of scenario. You can take clips from it. There's lots of ideas for stuff like this. So it's just something I like to do because I'm a curious person and I like to talk. So, Brian took me up on that offer, and that's always open to anyone if they have something that in particular, I think it's good for if you have a particular project coming out that you want to just like build up a little attention for and have some quotes and snippets that you can pull. So that's another offer. And yeah, I think that's it. That's all I'm going to promote for now. Join us on Wednesday, 1 p.m. or next Sunday, same time. And yeah, we'll see you in the next space. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.